it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today's project is this, let's get it in the camera, this one. It's a simple, quick, easy little card, just bringing a few extra elements into it to bring it up a step by having the vellum, a bit of dazzling diamond and a coloured rhinestone. So let's get started. I'm going to use the Merry Mistletoe stamp set, and I'm just using the mistletoe from it, and I'm going to ink that up just onto a scrap of Whisper White, and I'm going to use Memento. You could use the archival black, but I happen to have the Memento around, so that's what I'm going to use. And just hold that there for a moment, and there we are, beautifully stamped. Get rid of that. Ooh, interesting bit of smut on my desk. Clean up my stamp so that's nice and clean. Pop it away. And I am going to use the, let me grab the punches. So I've got the 1 3/4 inch punch and the 2 inch punch. So I'm going to use the 1 3/4 to punch out my mistletoe and just sort of centre that. Do it with those again, and then with some dazzling diamond cardstock, or glimmer paper I should say, shouldn't I? A 1 3/4 inch, sorry, 2 inch circle. Then I want a rhinestone, and now that we have our lovely blends, I can take the dark cherry cobbler and colour one of my basic rhinestones with that, and it comes out a lovely bright red. It's to die for. It's worth leaving it just for a teeny weeny moment just to dry, so while that's happening I will show you the cardstock that I am using. I've got a standard piece of cardstock cut in half and then scored down the middle to make what in metric standards would be an A6 card. In the US you've got 8.5 by 11, so again just score it and cut it in half and score it down the middle. You'll have to adjust some of the sizes a wee bit from there, but it's just a standard card base basically. My standard first layer mat is 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then my vellum I cut to my standard second size, which is 5.5 by 3 3/4. The measurements will be on my blog. The link to the post is directly below this on the YouTube video, so that's easy to find, I hope. What is apparently not easy to find is, oh there it is, hidden, my Snowflake embossing folder. This is in the Autumn Winter catalogue. I can't remember what we actually call it. What do we actually call it? We call it a Winter Wonder textured embossing folder. Now I'm going to have it so that it's to one side, and it doesn't actually matter whether you line it up that way or that way. The only thing you have to bear in mind is whether you want it embossed or debossed. I want it embossed, so I want my raised pieces underneath my cardstock, and then I'm just having it offset. And the main reason I'm having it offset is that for the size of cardstock that I've got, it actually goes off the edges. So rather than it looking really odd because it goes off the edges, I'm going to make it look less odd by having it really off the edges. But just make sure that that's straight. That then goes through the Big Shot without the thin die adapter, but with 2 cutting mats. So I shall just, take the thin die adapter off and run that through. And then it makes it go much whiter because of the way that the embossing folder reacts with the vellum. Now, Of course, there's that interesting thing with vellum, isn't there? Let's just pop this rhinestone, which is now well and truly dry, onto the top of my mistletoe bundle. Then I don't need those anymore. Right, so vellum is an interesting thing to stick down because it shows adhesive through, particularly if you've got a dark coloured cardstock underneath, and I've made it about as difficult as possible because I've got black. However, because we've embossed it, that gives us some extra little options, because in here we've got areas that have gone more opaque, so you can use glue dots. Hurrah for that. So glue dots are just the most amazingly wonderful thing. So I've just folded my glue dots in half, and I'm just popping one on each point. Trouble is with glue dots is they like to glue to everything, but I'm just popping one on each point of my snowflake. And because those bits are opaque, it won't show through. Can you actually see what I'm doing? I moved my camera setup and it's not quite right. I'm trying to change it completely, but I need to sort out a new tripod to do that. I will get there eventually, but at the moment I'm not. There, I mean. So that's, oops, that's glue dots on each of those. Then the only other thing we need to think about, so that's going to go that way up, is we've also got an area here where our embellishment is going to go. So because that's going to go there, what I can do is pop that kind of in position, and with it still in position, add some fast fuse to the back, because that will just give an extra place to stick where it won't matter. So let's get rid of the glue dots. Just line that up with your card base. And that is why you do not want to stick your vellum down without covering it up, because as you can see, that is very obvious, but it's also very nicely stuck. But where the glue dots are, because it's in the snowflake, it's not picking it up as it would otherwise. So all we've got to do now is pop everything together. So a bit of fast fuse on the back of that, and just cover up. Actually, I don't want to go quite that far over. I want to have it inside the vellum mat. There we go. Then some dimensionals. And just 3, I think, should be fine on the back of that. Dimensionals are great for sticking to glimmer paper. Glimmer paper is not wonderful for liking to have stuff stuck to it, but the dimensionals, because they're a soft background, get into the glitter, into the roughness. So if you press it down, it will adhere nicely to the glimmer paper. My brain has stopped. I've been filming most of the day and my brain really has stopped. Right, bit of my favourite wet adhesive, Tombow, on the back of my card. Grab my card base and get that, oops, got a fluff there, get that lined up, and we're good to go. Yay! So there we are, yet another use of blends. I mean, I've shown you that trick before, but don't just think of blends for colouring. They are great for colouring everything, including slick surfaces. So if you do get the blends, and why wouldn't you, do remember you can do this little trick as well. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Oh, let's get them down into the camera. We're getting very near to the end of my Advent series, but I will still carry on with some Christmas projects. I'll just drop a few other projects in amongst. So don't worry about that, but it does mean that you've got some starting points for Christmas. If you need any of the products that I've used, do jump over to my online store. The link for that is below. I only serve the UK at the moment, but if you are in the UK, I would love you to join my team of customers. And if you use the hostess code, then you get to share in the rewards. So if you're spending up to £150, then do use that hostess code in order to get a share of the rewards. What else can I tell you? If you want the blends and you want them at a discount, then do think about the starter kit, because remember, with the starter kit you can get £130 worth of product for £99, which includes free postage and packing. So it means that you could treat yourself to the blends for Christmas and not have to pay the full price. Yay! And then you get a discount on your future products. So, and that would take you through to, oh gosh, the end of March, which means you'd get the new catalogue, which you could pre-order from, and all that good stuff. So yeah, and I would love to welcome you to my team. So that would be good as well. Anyway, I think that's enough waffle from me for today. I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.